I'm Hokey Joker.
Bedroom.
Green Lantern.
And welcome to Just Us Bros Podcast. Hey bros, welcome to Just Us Bros Podcast. As always, I'm Hokey Joker.
I'm slightly intoxicated.
I am chestnuts roasting on an open fire, also known as Green Lantern.
And returning with us, we got...
Flashman.
And the second returning is our favorite friend from Washington.
HK. The HK can't say that. What about Brandon?
Brandon's never been on a podcast.
Oh, shoot.
Hey guys, it's Christmas. You can see the Christmas tree in our shot right here. And as we all know, it's our favorite time of year for that bearded man to slide in. And of course, we're talking about that bearded man being
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa. Aquaman 2 just came out in theaters this past week. And we went and saw it, of course. So what's your initial thoughts on it, guys?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I know it's kind of closing of an era, but it was entertaining. Was the plot the greatest? Maybe lacking. Was it fun? Absolutely.
I'm in agreement with you, Flashman. I thought it was fun. It picked up where Aquaman left off. He's the bro. He's doing his thing. He's like, whoa, Shaka, all the way through. I do have some complaints with it. I had fun at the movies. It was sort of like just based off overall this year, 2023. It was the second best superhero movie, in my opinion, only behind Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
You like this more than The Flash?
Yeah.
I totally. So I don't totally disagree with you guys. I think it was a fun movie. I thought there was no plot whatsoever until like the last 15 minutes of the movie. But I love Jason Momoa. I love his portrayal as Aquaman. I loved kind of the returning of most of the characters. I don't think it was the second greatest superhero movie that came out this year. There were some others that I thought were much better. This one was on par. If you saw our Marvels video, this one was on par with the Marvels for me.
Well, I think more people watched our podcast than they watched the Marvels. So
Yeah, probably.
Well, for me, apparently I may have fallen asleep during the movie and had some popcorn in my goatee.
6 times.
It wasn't a damn 6 times.
You fell asleep 6 times.
Well, I don't remember falling asleep. I remember the movie very well for the most
The
part.
parts that you saw.
To me, this really felt like it was a great movie, but like I felt like if I had kids, that this would be a great movie to take kids to see. It definitely had a fun vibe to it, like almost, I guess, kind of like a family-oriented movie. But
you said it
compared,
wrong.
said what wrong?
Family.
I'm intoxicated. But to me, if we're comparing movies from this year to this one, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying I like the Marvels better than this one. Yeah.
It's that song and dance number in the Marvels. Gotcha.
So yeah, that too. And 2 other things in the movie I thoroughly enjoyed.
I liked it. I was telling these guys that I think it was really dumb, but fun at the same time. A lot of dad jokes that just made me eye roll, but I couldn't help but laugh at them anyways.
It was better than Blue Beetle.
Yes.
I liked Blue Beetle better.
You like the character Blue Beetle better, but the movie itself was better than Blue Beetle.
It's because it didn't have fart jokes is why I didn't like it.
I'm pretty sure
There was a lot of turd jokes with pillows in it.
Okay, so since we're on the negativity train, let me just point out the things I didn't like about it. Woo, woo, woo. Going in and seeing the trailers, like that shot where he's like going out to the clothesline.
So no, I do not, because I didn't watch any trailers. I wanted to go in not knowing anything about this movie. So I do not know.
So the trailer, when he goes out to the clothesline and there's his suit of armor that's always wet hanging on a clothesline, and it just looked flat like a t-shirt, even though in the first movie it was like actual armor. But the trope of if a man changes a baby's diaper in a movie, he will get peed on, happened twice. CGI, I mean, there's a lot of CGI going on in it. But this wasn't the CGI part that got me, but when they come back to the lighthouse and he goes, no, and he gets like angry, and they slow it down, and it gets jumpy as it's slowing down, and then it fades out. It sort of reminded me of Batman and Robin when Robin comes out of the water when fighting Poison Ivy, and then it reverses as a very bad video effect. Um, yeah, towards the end battle when like they're about to kill the baby, and then
Spoilers.
Junior.
whatever, and then all of a sudden Aquaman stops him right before the knife comes down. Okay, then Aquaman's about to get stabbed. Then Mara does the same thing, like do it once or go 3 times.
That's what she said.
Roll of threes. And then I think the thing that got me was that if this is the last closing credit scene, post credit scene, that was terrible.
I honestly think that was just done for fun because they knew.
It was fun, but I viewed it as like a metaphor. Like the cockroach was all the DC movies that have been bad the last couple years, and Orm was the viewer. Like, well, you just got to eat it because it's there, but it's disgusting. Like Wonder Woman 84, The Flash, Blue Beetle.
You really went very deep meta for that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else saw it. I think it was just a fun callback to, oh, ha ha ha, he thinks he's supposed to eat cockroaches. I don't
Yeah,
think it
and
was
then-
any more than that.
Oh,
And then
and,
Bat Drew missed the very last end scene credit.
oh, with that,
He's
yeah.
in the
Oh,
bathroom.
there
Batman
really
showed up.
was. There really was.
Yes.
Did you see this?
No, I didn't, because it said it
Hey,
got
were
cut.
you in the bathroom too?
No, I googled and I said, how many post credit scene is
We
Aquaman
stayed
doing?
for it.
Well, I'll find that
Well,
on
Could've
YouTube.
hung
You look
out.
it up. We're not going to spoil it. That's one thing.
Oh,
that
you
we're
got to
not
watch
gonna-
it.
But the one complaint I wanted, the last one I think is the biggest one. I wanted the hook hand, like yeah, when Aquaman gets his, yeah,
That would have probably happened in the third movie had there been a third movie in the DC EU.
but he loses his hand saving his son. So like make that like the midpoint where like the son is kidnapped. He cuts off his hand to like save his son, but that's the blood that activates him, and then fight zombie Aquaman or whatever his name was, because I wanted to see that awesome hook. It's the last DCU movie. Reshoot it, do it. I want it, but
So you're saying you wanted a comic accurate last?
I wanted
He wanted a '90s Aquaman.
I
What
wanted.
would have happened to that baby if this was a comic book accurate?
It would have never
I'm saying
been.
what-
sent to
like I'm
theaters.
saying Justice League Unlimited, where he cut off his hand to save the baby.
Okay.
But everything else I thought was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, yeah, I agree. It was fun. It was definitely a good popcorn flick. Literally because there was popcorn everywhere.
Even when I got home.
In our road, yes, even when Seth or when he got home. But I liked that the first one was I think the first one was more of a like romantic comedy. And this one, The Lost Kingdom, was kind of like a romantic comedy where instead of him having to travel with Mary, he was obviously going with his bro, saving the kingdoms and trying to stop crap. I was gonna say Kang, but no, Black Manta.
Sauron. Oh,
Black Manta from filling the Green Trident's prophecy.
I didn't have like super high expectations going in. I thought the first one was okay. But I just liked the way this leaned into the cheesiness. So I really enjoyed that part.
so yeah, I felt, and I mentioned this to Flashman multiple times during the movie. I'm like, okay, well, right now I feel like I'm watching Star Wars. Then at one point I was like, are we on the way to Mordor? Like, is this Lord of the Rings? And then of course the evil ancient Aquaman looked like Sauron. I'm like, okay. So I felt like it was multiple movies mixed in. Like they definitely took their influence from some movies. There's nothing wrong with that.
It was a cocktail of all different genres.
Yeah, you got the blasters that just look like blasters from Star Wars. Which is cool. It's cool, but it wasn't anything that we haven't seen before, except it was underwater.
I bet we said that to each other 10 times throughout that movie.
At least. Like
Mm.
Jabba the Hutt, Fishman, Jabba the Hutt, and
It even had the little blues singer in the little cubicle that was in Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
Like, it was almost the exact same thing.
which if they did it as a homage, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I want to say about this is it took us these different places. Like it exists, just accept it. And it rushed through that, which
Well, that was one thing that we kept joking about because we're like somewhere in the South Pacific, somewhere in the Northeast. It's like you don't know where. It's like,
somewhere in the Milky Way galaxy.
yeah, somewhere in a galaxy far, far away.
It's 2023. You can give us longitude, latitude, obviously.
Yeah.
We're not going to care, but it's better than saying somewhere.
We're not going to fact check you.
I concur with everybody else that said. definitely feel like the plot took a while to actually hit, but when it did hit, you're like, okay, I understand now. And then the movie ended.
Yeah,
So
I think
watching,
I even looked at you like 15, 20 minutes of the movie left. I was like, oh, that's the plot.
yeah, yeah, that's when it really hit both of us. But up until that point, yeah, it had some campy shit, and I mean, it had some stuff that was very, you know, for the audience. But I didn't have a whole lot of gripes with it. I mean, I just went to watch the final DCEU movie to enjoy it. I didn't watch the trailers a whole bunch. I just really wanted to go in as a fan of this world, this universe, and enjoy it. And that's what I did. Not to mention these two goofy drunk ones.
I really think that we were more entertainment for you than the movie was.
At this point, I do kind of agree.
So I want to move on to something that I thought was lacking. That there's a couple things lacking in one big surprise. So two lacks, one surprise. Amber Heard really did take a significant backseat in this, and I'm cool with that. Just because I don't like her as an actress for that reason only. Not a lot of shirtless Jason Momoa. I was expecting more, and the surprise was I forgot Randall Park was in this.
Yeah, Randall Park just makes everything better.
Do you mean you forgot that he was in the movie, or
That he was in the first one. So I was like, oh yeah, Randall
He was
Park.
only like the very end of the first one, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, but like Randall Park's like kind of top bill now compared to some of the other people.
was it?
Yeah, at the end when
He
like
was, like recording or something.
he saved Black Manta, he was also in the middle of the movie where he's like Atlantis is real, and they're like laughing at him on TV. Yeah,
I completely forgot about that part, like too. Yeah, I guess.
I did like his Randall Park's portrayal as I don't know what his character's name was, but it's more like
Agent.
what was it?
Would you say agent?
Agent. He was definitely comedic relief, like where Aquaman and Orm storm Mordor, and he comes in and he closes the door. He's like, "Okay, I surrender. I just like that was pretty good."
Yeah. I even said, why does it sound like Ryan Reynolds is in this movie? Because the dude sounds just like Ryan Reynolds to me.
He did sound like Ryan Reynolds.
Like every time he was talking and you didn't see him on the screen, I'm like, Deadpool?
That actually would have made this movie like
That'd
10
have been
times.
hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
If Deadpool showed up.
actually, one thing I forgot about my complaint that I forgot to add.
Forgot about my complaint.
Which complaint?
I forgot to add a complaint. So
Terrible.
let me go back to my list. The hand over fist of global warming is bad, fighting all that. Like I wanted to watch Jason Momoa like stab sea creatures, not him like team up with Greta Thunberg. Like literally, one of the bad guys literally says in there, "Thank God for global warming." Little, on the nose, but
Yeah, I thought that myself.
what do we think about
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Swayze?
Warburton.
Patrick Wilson's return as Orm.
I really felt like he could have brought more because it just seemed like to me he was like Aquaman was like, I'm breaking you out, little brother. It's like, stop calling me that. That's pretty much the amount of every scene. It's like, help me, little brother. I'm gonna help you. Stop calling me. And that's pretty much all it was until the end when they're like, hey, thank you for helping us, little brother. Oh, thanks. Call me little brother. I really felt like he was kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
He was phoning it in.
Yeah, there was a muzzle on his character. Like I felt like Patrick Wilson as an actor could have really brought more to that, but I feel like they were trying to hold it back more. So Aquaman could be more campy and outlandish in this movie. But yeah, if I could change one thing, I would say Orm needed not a bigger part, but more reaction to everything that was pretty much going on.
He got super beefy. Super beefy. I was like, he gets a shirtless scene, but Jason Momoa doesn't. Really?
Yeah.
But I just, like when I watched it in the theaters, I could hear, girls be like, "Ooh."
No, that was just
But
Drew. He was actually in the theater too.
yeah, it felt like Thor Ragnarok actually, in the way that it's like two brothers that kind of don't really get along, but you have a chance for redemption. So yeah, Orn at the end just like, yeah, he redeemed himself.
Yeah.
And I like the chemistry between them. They were just like, cracking jokes at each other and kind of poking fun at each other. But Orm's like the straight man to Jason Momoa's like just goofiness, and he did a great job.
With Orm, I mean, you could kind of tell the character development they were going for with that. Like, oh, he's pissed off. He lost his brother. He hates him. And then at the end, you're like, okay, well, he's gonna redeem himself. Um, the scene with Mira's dad, Dolph Lundgren, I can't think his name, but or it made it look like Orm was gonna abandon him, but then he comes back and saves him. I'm like, okay, that was cool. It was a little predictable. I would have liked to have seen Aquaman in a perilous situation and that happen instead, because I think it would have meant more to like, oh, you're not gonna save me, you haven't changed, and then he comes back and surprisingly saves him. And he's like, you're my brother, I'm gonna save you. I
Yeah,
think it would have meant more to save him versus the King of Zebel or whatever he is.
but yeah, because that was pretty much just a payoff for that one little stab where he was giving all of the soldiers guns, and then Orm comes, he's like, "You get an axe," and then
And my axe.
he saved him, and then they're up. He's like,
Here's a gun.
he literally takes it from one of his soldiers, like, oh, "You don't have a gun no more." Now he does. He
I thought that not as deep as y'all on it, but I thought that the development from him becoming the stoic stone face, I don't want a brother, to becoming a brother, it's kind of what the movie was. But I enjoyed watching their interactions on screen. Like the banter that Big Brother was giving Little Brother is very realistic. I mean, it might have been a little PG, but it was very realistic. I mean, me and my brother harp on each other hard all the damn time. And, I I thought he did okay. I liked him better in this one than I did the first one.
Did you think he was more likable, or do you think the portrayal of the character was better?
I think the character himself was actually better.
Like he was humble?
Yeah, yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah, because most definitely in the first one, Orm was kind of like, "I'm the big shit around here. Y'all will
Um,
bow down to me." Aquaman's like, "Oh, whatever, dude. I can kick your ass." It's
yeah.
like, "No, you can't." Yeah, I can. I can totally do it. I totally did. It's like, "No, you won't." But yeah, he was definitely like we're saying, toned down in this one, but it was a different one. But yeah, definitely better in this one, as even muzzled as he was in the first one. Because the first time it was just so annoying, kind of a little bit.
Yeah, in
What
the
do we
first
think?
movie he was just so one dimensional. It was
Yeah.
end of the world, I'm killing everybody, I'm done. And at least this one you got to see him go from that hard edge to, all right, maybe I can not be a dick all the time and enjoy life.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed
I
it.
do think one other scene I would have done differently is instead of like when Junior's getting ready to get stabbed or whatever, I think Orm should have been the one to like save him as far as like, oh shit, I'm not just a brother now, I'm an uncle. And that would have just more bonded him and Aquaman and the family. If that's what they were going for, I think it would have been more of a payoff to have him save Junior versus what happened.
Or just let it happen like the comics and nobody saved Junior.
Well, that's a whole nother thing. If they were doing a trilogy, I think they should have gone that direction. They should have gone the dark direction, have his hand cut off. He doesn't save Junior. And then he's got a true your hero has fallen to rock bottom. I mean, true rock bottom. And
Yeah.
how's he gonna redeem himself from that?
And well, considering James Wan, the director, is literally a horror director, it was lined up perfectly for him. I mean, I know when they first find the cavern of this and like they're taking photos, I distinctively heard the Texas Chainsaw flashbulb sound effect, and I was like, there's the horror right there. But I think James Wan, like there was definitely some scary moments in there, like when the Kraken, I guess, was like cracking through the ice and like yeah, it was getting everybody. But I definitely felt some dark tones in there, but the dark tones didn't make the light. Like I don't know how to describe it, but the lighter tones didn't seem too over the top when they like reversed around Jabba the Hutt or
Yeah.
Jabba the Finn or whatever his name was.
Do it! Just do it! So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! What are you waiting for? Do it! Just